Hey guys, it's Ray Alvarez from Shoot with Ray, and in this video, together, you guys and I are gonna go through Evoto and its biggest and latest and greatest update, 4.3, and I'm gonna show you guys the latest features that are in this update. Let's get right to it. All right, so if you don't have Evoto, you must get Evoto. Evoto AI is an AI-powered photo editing platform designed to streamline and enhance the editing process for photographers just like you and I. Look, I get it. Some of us are kind of freaked out about using AI software to edit our photos. We want full control of every single piece of our art. You have full control over how you edit these pictures. It simplifies your life. It shaves off so much time off of your editing workflow, so that way you can get back to shooting or working on other projects. Now, if you haven't gotten Evoto yet, go ahead and download it using my link in the description, and you get 5 free credits along with a free trial. All right, so now that you've gotten Evoto open, let's go through it together. So we're going to start off with this portrait of Lindsay. We're going to work on a few new features that have come out. One of them being the facial reshape. We're going to go over to the right side and we're going to click on portrait retouching. And you're going to scroll down to the facial reshape section. Open that tab up. Now, the facial reshape is mind-blowing. So, for example, you can literally shift this person's face up and down. That's crazy. And what they have done is they have improved it a bit more to where it's more supporting of detailed modifications. So there's more left and right features, and it's more spot on and detailed. You can tilt. This comes in handy if, for example, you have a family session and one of the kids is like looking up or looking down. You can kind of tilt their head pose a little bit better and correct it in post, so that way you don't have to worry about reshooting it. So right off the bat, that's feature number 1. Before we get to feature number 2, let's edit this photo to my liking, so that way we can continue editing and moving forward. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the background adjustments, and I'm going to remove this hand. This hand is a distraction. It looks like one of those shots where she was still kind of moving, and I don't think I wanted the hand in this photo to begin with. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the distractions removal tab, and we're going to toggle that on. That is going to get rid of the hand. Look at that immediately. The next thing we're going to do is clean the backdrop. If your sensor has any dust or dirt in it, or if for some odd reason the backdrop was a little dirty, had some stains on it, you toggle that on, clean backdrop, and it'll clean it up for you. So now that we've gotten the background adjusted, we're going to go ahead and adjust the portrait. So I'm going to go back to the color adjustments, and I'm going to brighten it just a bit more. Bring some of those highlights down. I'm going to add a little bit more contrast. There you go. And now we're going to work on the skin retouching. So we're going to go right back to portrait retouching. I'm going to lower this one here. Then I'm going to go to blemish removal. So I'm going to slide this to the right here for the freckles and acne. I'm not going to do it too much. For my portraits and my headshots, I like it to be very realistic. I don't want to bring all the sliders to the right and just overdo everything. Don't ever overdo everything. It's not going to look right. Her highlights aren't too bad at all, so I'm not going to reduce face shine or anything like that. I am going to get rid of some of the dark circles along with the eye bags. So guys, one of the new features for Evoto 4.3 is the facial wrinkles area. Now, they've added 11 lines and Marionette lines. Now, Marionette lines are the ones that you see here, and I'll show you here in a sec one of the portraits that I have, and I want to show you how to remove that. And the 11 lines. In this case, Lindsay doesn't have any of that, so we're not to worry about it. But in the next photo, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. There's no neck wrinkles, there's no eye wrinkles, and there's no body blemishes of any sort. So we'll leave it at that. This is where I want to be. Now, the next feature that I want to show you guys as part of this update is the smoothing of the hair, or the hair refinement. So what we'll do is we'll lower this tab and we'll go down to hair, open up that tab. If you scroll down, you're going to see the smooth hair area. And just to show you the difference, I'm going to go all the way to about 80%. Check that out. It literally made it really crispy. It refined the texture. it almost like removes the frizz and adds a bit of gloss to the hair. Now in this case, I think it did it just a bit too much, so I'm gonna tone it down a little bit here. And I really, really like that. So let's see. Yeah, that looks really good. Check out the details on the top and then the side of the hair. Another cool, neat feature that's part of this update is the hair shine enhancement. So if you toggle that on, you see what it did to the top of the hair there. So let's lower that down. Just pay attention in this general area here. That's really cool. I'm going to leave it at about 28%. I really like that. I really like how the hair shine enhancement and the smoothing of the hair did really help for this portrait. So we're going to move on to the next one. So we're going to work with this gentleman right here. It's a fabulous headshot. So what I mentioned earlier about the Marionette lines and the 11 lines, those two areas are going to be one of the latest features of the facial wrinkle remover in Evoto 4.3. So the Marionette lines are down here and the 11 lines are right here between the eyes. This feature is going to be amazing for my headshot photographers and branding photographers. And I feel that this is really going to help out because everyone has different skin. Some people might want that removed and some people might not. So let's start off with that. Let's go back to blemish removal. Let's go right down to where it says facial wrinkles. So now, if you guys look at my previous editing videos, you know very well that I don't want to completely change this individual. A headshot is supposed to represent who you are. So with that being said, we're not going to change much on this gentleman here. But for the purpose of this video, I want to show you the amazing features that Evoto 4.3 has. So let's start off with the forehead wrinkles. So if I bring the slider all the way to 100%, his wrinkles are gone. This man looks amazing like this, but we cannot give this man this headshot like this. So we're going to slide that down to about 50%. Let there be a little bit of wrinkles, not too much. Let's go to the next one, which is 11 lines. This is part of the new feature, new update. And again, I'm going to bring it right to 100. Pay attention right in this area right here. Gone. So we're going to bring that right down to about 39%. I'm happy with that. Eye wrinkles. So that's what it looks like at 100. We're going to bring it down to about 44%. Let's go to 57. So for this gentleman, the smile lines define his character. I can't get rid of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly tone it down, but I can't get rid of his smile lines. That's with it gone 100%. He's not the same person. So let's bring that back and let's leave it around 23%. The latest feature for the facial wrinkles area is the Marionette lines. And what that does is it just gets rid of the wrinkles in this chin area here. That's at 100%. So let's tone it down to about 53%. You're probably wondering about his chin area, this wrinkle right there. And we can easily get rid of that. All we have to do is just go to the healing tool tab, click that, set the size of the wrinkle. There you go. And that's it. So we're going to zoom out of this and you guys are going to see a side-by-side comparison of what this gentleman's headshot or portrait looks like with and without the editing of the facial wrinkles, along with the Marionette and the 11 lines that I got rid of, and the wrinkle right below his lips in the chin area. Fantastic feature, Evoto. Fantastic. So another feature that isn't necessarily part of this update, but it's a common question I see in a lot of my other videos and also in a few of my classes is how do you avoid glare in the glasses whenever you're doing headshots? Now guys, keep in mind, when you're shooting, you can definitely avoid glare by lowering your source of light in the bottom area, such as the reflector, or by setting your light source a little higher than what you normally do to avoid glare. Now, you will have to play around with the positioning of the face, maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower, but keep in mind that's going to change other things. But if you happen to shoot the photo and there's nothing you could do about avoiding a glare, no worries, Evoto has you taken care of. So now I'm going to open up a photo that I did recently. And unfortunately, I couldn't avoid the glare. Sometimes you just can't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go right back to the portrait retouching tab, and we're going to stay right where we are with blemish removal. I'm going to scroll a little bit down right to where it says remove glasses glare. And by the touch of one button, that glasses glare will be removed completely. Here we go. 100%, look to your right, it's gone. The left is before, the right is after. Done. So again, it's not part of the update, but I just wanted to point that out, that this is, by the push of one button, one of the easiest manipulations you can make to your photo by simply removing the glasses glare. We're going to try the glasses glare one more time, and I'm going to open up this other headshot that I've completed in the past. Now keep in mind, these pictures are straight out of camera. They're not edited, but I'm editing it this way so that way you guys can see the difference. So one more time, we're just going to click that remove glasses glare button, slide it all the way to the right. And if you're looking to the right side of your screen here, you'll see that the glasses glare is completely gone compared to the left side. So in this case, she doesn't have the 11 lines wrinkle or the marionette line wrinkle, so we don't have anything to worry about there. But if we really wanted to hook up this headshot real quick, let's do it quickly, right? Start your timer. As you can see, she still has a mole on the right side of her face. There is a face mole removal. Now that is up to you and your client. If they would like that removed, you can try that out. You can ask them if they would like that. If not, leave it alone. I typically leave it alone, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to tap that here and it just easily removes it, right? So let's keep it off for the sake of the video. So now we're going to move forward with the eye bags. I'm going to slide that over to about 80%. And it did a whole bunch of work right there for us. So there's another headshot here I want to work with you guys. We're going to focus on the hair. As you can tell, it's very, very frizzy. So we're going to take advantage of the latest feature, which is the frizz removal. So let's go right back to the portrait retouching section. And we're going to go to the hair section. We're going to scroll down to stray hairs removal. And you're going to make that slider go all the way to the right to about 88%. And it already did so much for us. Compare the left to the right. Look at all of that frizz that's kind of gone already. We're going to do a little bit more. We're going to smooth the hair out. So we're going to bring this one to about 64%. Check that out. If we want to add a little bit more of shine, you take the hair shine enhancement and slide it to 50%. Wow. So these are just some of the advantages you have as a photographer that you can use whenever you're editing with Evoto, where it's just so simple and it saves you so much time. You're not spending time on Photoshop or any editing software editing these things. You can go back to shooting, you can go back to managing your business or just having family time or personal time. This is insane. This is simply amazing. All right, so moving on to the next one. Another feature I want to point out is the AI retained shadows feature. For my studio photographers, the ones who are shooting on a white backdrop or any backdrop, or even with a cyclorama wall. You know when you're editing and you want to swap out the backdrop and it just kind of just cuts out the subject and you have no shadows and it just looks like you placed it there. It just looks disorganized. Well, this is the next feature I want you guys to check out. So we're going to open up this maternity session. I'll show you the full image here. As you can see, I have my subject on a cyc wall. I have my light right here, and I have this shadow that I really like. Not only is the floor pretty dirty from my previous photo shoots, I didn't paint the backdrop, but I'm going to show you something really neat. So let's go down to the background adjustments tab. And the first thing we're going to do is click the distractions removal toggle, and we're going to toggle that on. It's going to help remove my softbox. Done. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to clean the backdrop. I'm going to zoom in for this so you guys can check out the difference, and I'm going to go before and after. Let's zoom into her foot area. Toggle that on, and take a look at the right side, which is the clean version of this floor. We're going to remove this background and we're going to place my subject in another background and regain those shadows that we might lose. This is going to blow your mind. Check this out, guys. We're going to go to background changer. And I just want to keep it gray. Let's just keep it gray for the sake of the video. I'm going to pick Gray 02. So as you can see, this is exactly what I thought would happen. It cuts her out of the original background, but now it just looks like a copy and paste, a very sloppy one. And it just doesn't look right. It looks very amateurish, right? So Evoto's update 4.3 has a feature that will bring back that shadow, or you can add your own shadow. So we're going to go all the way to the bottom in the shadows area. Make sure it's on original. And then you're going to see the toggle that says AI retain shadows. Simply click that and it'll bring back the shadows that you lost. Check that out, guys. So now let me go to the individual photo. Let me zoom out. That's insane. All right, let's try that again. Let's try that again. We're going to do it with this one. So as you can see, there's no editing in this photo. I'm going to remove all of the distractions, my softbox, the remainder of the studio on the right side of the photo, and I'm also going to clean the floor up. But cleaning the floor doesn't matter because we're going to switch the background. So we're going to go right back to background adjustments. Let's pick Gray 03. Okay. And then we're going to go down to original shadows. I'm going to retain that. Click the toggle on. That's pretty cool. All right, guys, let's head on over to another portrait. This one is of K. Let's zoom out here. And what I wanted to show you guys was there's another feature that Evoto has come out with for Evoto 4.3. And that is the even dodge and burn for body skin. So if you didn't know, when you go on over to portrait retouching, the blemish removal area had a section where there was body refinement and we didn't have anything for body blemishes. There was only neck wrinkles and armpit touch-up. But now the body blemishes has been improved and now it's seeking blemishes all over the body and removing them instead of just certain sections of the body. So what we're going to do is we're going to toggle that on and I'm going to slide it to about 89%. And it already got rid of a whole bunch of blemishes on the thigh area and leg area. We're going to do it before and after. I'm going to zoom in here. Perfect. So things like pores, acne, blemishes, maybe hair follicles, those are things that will be removed whenever you're working on the skin. And you click on the body blemishes slider and drag it to the right a bit. Now we go back and close blemishes removal and open up skin retouching. Let's scroll down a little bit. There was only a section for frequency separation just for the face. With Evoto 4.3, they just released the body skin part of it, where now we have frequency separation and dodge and burn for the body skin. So that means arms, it means legs, it means any part of the body minus the face. This is amazing. Great for portrait photographers, great for people who like to shoot swimwear, great for people who are working with models and boudoir. Let's add a little bit of dodge and burn and even things out with the skin just by simply taking that section and sliding it to the right. We're about 66% there. If you can see before and after, that's pretty good. And then let's do the same thing with frequency separation. Let's bring that slider up to about 64%. And it just softened that skin up really nicely. Now, if you're not into very soft skin, simply take the low frequency slider and bring it down a bit, right? Let's bring it right back up to 100%. And you can see the difference, how it softens the skin. So keep it low. Now, if you're someone who likes to see clarity on the skin, who likes to see that skin texture, which a lot of us do, you simply take the high frequency slider and you slide it to the right a little bit more. So now you'll see a little bit more texture. You'll see a little bit more hair follicles. You'll see a little bit more skin texture. That's pretty cool. I got one more portrait here for you guys. So we have a portrait of Lindsay. I think we're going to use a portion of the dodge and burn for the body skin along with the frequency separation. And we're going to clean up the studio. We're going to clean up the psych wall floor and retain those shadows. So let's give it a shot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to color adjustments, go to full image, bring up the exposure. There we go. Highlights, a little lower. shadows a little higher, but I like the contrast the shadows are giving me. So I'm going to leave it just like that because for this portrait, I wanted the eye area to be super dark. Makeup wise, she already had like this dark line going through her eyes. So I wanted to keep that. So let's leave the shadows right where they are. And I think this is good. Now we're going to edit the skin. So we're going to go right back to portrait retouching. I'm going to scroll right up. Close the skin retouching tab, open up the blemish removal. I don't see much freckles or acne, so we're gonna leave that alone. Face shine looks fine to me. Dark circles, we're gonna bring it just a tad bit. Eye bags, just a tad bit, meet them in the middle. No glasses, no lip wrinkles, no double chin. We don't need any of this right here. No forehead wrinkles, 11 lines, none of the wrinkle lines. Let's get rid of body blemishes. So we're gonna slide that up to 80. Now, if you guys take a look, let's reset that. There's a few blemishes there in the ankle area and in the foot area. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. 1, 2, boom, gone. Neck wrinkles, we're good. Armpit touch up, we're good. Okay, so now we're going to the skin retouching tab. We're going to open up the body skin area and let's do a dodge and burn to about 77%. Let's see there. Let's go back to 0. If you take a look, it dodges and burns the knee area. Nice. Now I'm going to leave dodge and burn to 0, and we're going to go to frequency separation. We're going to go about to 92%. It's smoothing everything out by a lot, which is great. I just feel it's a little bit too much for me, so we're going to lower that down to about 62%. Now let's rewind to the frequency separation days when you were editing in Photoshop, right? Remember, the high frequency is the texture. It's keeping all of the texture. And then the low frequency is where you want to blur things out and soften the skin. So in this case, because the skin looks a little softer, I want to lower that frequency right down to about 13 and get that high frequency, get that texture back on the skin. I'm going to raise that up just a tad bit. Okay? That looks way better. Let me zoom in a little bit here. As you can see some of the texture here in the thighs. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clean this backdrop up, get rid of distractions like the bottom left corner, the dirty floor, and we're going to retain those shadows using the new features. Click on the background adjustments tab. We're going to go ahead and switch it to a gray. Actually, you know what? We're going to go right back. So because I'm switching the background, you don't have to get rid of distractions or anything like that, but just for the sake of this video, let's just do that. So distractions removal. Toggle that on, it gets rid of the bottom left. Clean backdrop, it's gonna clean that floor, so pay attention to that. Done, clean. Almost like I got a new paint job. All right, so that's what happens if you wanted to just not switch the background and just keep it original and clean it up. But now, if you wanted to just toggle that off and switch the background, I'm gonna go back to a gray 02. Click on that, that looks really nice right there and clean. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go right down to shadows, go to original, and retain those shadows by clicking this toggle on. There you go. And as you can see, pay close attention. That shadow that was already on the psych wall of her hand goes right back. That's freaking awesome. All right, guys. So there you have it. I've just shown you the latest features, the biggest update yet from Evoto 4.3. If you have yet to try Evoto, I suggest you try it. Give it a shot, and if you don't like it, that's fine. But I think that you would truly love it. Not only would it save you so much time, but it makes editing super fun and super simple. If you haven't tried Evoto yet, I suggest you do so by clicking the link in the description. You'll get 5 free credits on your trial for you to try out. And if you're already a user, then you'll get 15% off for first-time purchases or upgrades. If you enjoyed this video or if you have any questions, I would love to help you out. Drop them down in the comments. And as always, I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.